Earlier this year, I released my very first project as an independent artist, an EP called Closure. Closure was a collection of songs that I wrote between 2021 and 2023. Since which time I feel like I have gone through quite a few life-changing events which have really shaped the person that I am now. And I feel like the person who wrote these songs between 2021 and 2023 is a very different person to who I am now today. So I wanted to release this EP kind of as a way to say goodbye to that old version of myself, the old music that I was making, because I have also developed my style in music making. As I say, it was a way to close that chapter of my life and say goodbye to the person that I used to be. Now, why do I call this my silent EP release? Because I released it in July 2025 this year and entirely failed to promote it in any way, shape or form. I made like 2 or 3 social media posts at best, but put no real effort into promoting it because, to be perfectly honest, I feel completely out of my depth when it comes to promoting my music. And now that I've relaunched my YouTube channel, I thought it would be fun to go through each of the songs on this EP. I'll play you a little snippet of each of them and talk about the meaning behind the lyricism of it. I'm Billy Bryce, and this is the story behind my EP, Closure. So before I talk about the songs, I do actually just want to talk about the cover art itself. I will be honest, I was quite lazy with the cover art. I just took a photo of myself from the last time I was on a holiday. Did a little bit of touching up to it, make it look as good as it could. And then that was the cover. I did choose that picture very intentionally though, because that was one of the last pictures that my ex-partner took of me before our relationship ended. It was taken in Tenerife when me and him went on holiday last year, and I had actually already made the decision to break up with him before we left for our holiday. And when I look at myself in that picture, I realised that I was a very different person then to who I am now, which is similar to what I was saying about the songs themselves, as I've grown and changed since all the songs on this EP were written and recorded. So without further ado, let's talk about the first song on the EP, Wrong Motorway. So I wrote Wrong Motorway very early on in 2021, and there's a little bit of a funny story behind it actually. I remember back in 2021 we had all just gone back into lockdown after Christmas, so back to being indoors all the time, missing my partner, and I was binging a lot of TV, and specifically I was binging a lot of Waterloo Road, which if you're from the UK you'll probably know is a drama series set in an English secondary school. And as I was binging Waterloo Road during lockdown, I started to feel a little bit sad because little baby Billy used to want to be a teacher when he grew up, and rewatching a show set in a school brought those feelings back up to the surface. It also didn't help that at the time I was starting to become disillusioned with the idea of becoming a full-time music maker. I thought that was going to be completely unattainable, and I felt like I had made a bad decision by pursuing further education in sound production. I felt like I had pigeonholed myself into an unemployable field, and that I was going to really struggle to get a well-paying job once I finished college. Just on a side note, if you're watching this and you're currently studying sound production, or you're thinking about studying sound production, that is not me telling you that what you're studying or want to study is not worth your while. That was just how I felt at the time, personally. The title Wrong Motorway is the main metaphor of the song, I felt like I had taken a wrong turn in life and I was driving down a road that I didn't know where it led to. I was driving on the wrong motorway. And since writing this song, I felt like it has held relevance in my life as I've worked different jobs that I've hated. I've been working in customer service pretty much ever since I left college. Some jobs I didn't mind, some jobs I absolutely hated. So Wrong Motorway certainly still holds relevance in my life today, perhaps more than any other song on this EP. Which is a little bit funny because it is the first song on the EP that I wrote. Next up we have Inside His Mind.
Helpless to escape from you, truly he belongs to you. His love hands you the knife that you twist inside his mind. Helpless to escape from you, truly he belongs to you. His love hands you the knife that you twist inside his mind.
Inside His Mind was inspired by a friend of my boyfriend's. Back in 2021 I was dating this guy. We're not together anymore. I was dating this guy. He had a friend who was in a very toxic relationship, and all the time, I'd never met this friend's partner, but all the time when I was hanging out with my boyfriend, I was hearing secondhand stories about how awful he was. So naturally I had a very poor opinion on this person. And that inspired Inside His Mind, because one thing that kept coming up in conversation with my partner was a concern that his friend felt trapped and unable to walk away from this relationship. I did actually stop working on this song when my partner's friend and his partner, there's a lot of partners in this story, are you following? But yeah, when my boyfriend's friend's boyfriend, their relationship started to improve, at least it did as far as me and my partner were led to believe. So I abandoned this song because it didn't feel right anymore. But then, towards the end of 2021, we found out that the shitty toxic partner was cheating on my partner's friend, and that inspired me to finish Inside His Mind. And a funny and ironic part of that story is when all this shit went down, my partner was a really good support system for his friend. He was there for his friend to confide in. He helped him through a lot of stuff. A few years later, in the beginning of 2024, I came to find out that this man had been cheating on me the whole time we were together. It really takes someone who is pure scum to watch their best friend go through the trauma of getting cheated on, help them through that, support them, be a shoulder to cry on, all the while cheating on their own partner at the same time. But I digress. Inside His Mind is actually written from my perspective as if I am speaking directly to this toxic partner that my boyfriend's friend had. The idea that this man was helpless to escape from this toxic person. Next song is actually the youngest song on the EP. It was written towards the end of 2023 and it is called Voices. voices primarily about my own experience growing up gay and being closeted and feeling like that was a part of myself that I had to hide away from everyone to be accepted. But the idea of having to hide your true self away to be accepted, I feel like that's quite a common feeling for a multitude of different reasons. So I wanted to make the lyrics as vague as possible. I didn't want it specifically to be about hiding the fact that I was gay, if that makes sense. Some of the lyrics that I find the most interesting is in the build-up to the chorus. It goes, "So many voices swirling through my head, all competing to be heard." It's about this idea that I've been hiding who I am for so long that I can't tell what is real and what is a mask. And I have these conflicting voices in my head telling me, no, you should be true to yourself, and actually, no, you should tone it down. You should continue to hide, keep within the mask. And kind of just having that duality going on in my head. So it's a bit like a battle, if that makes sense. And then the next song on the record was Wrong Theme.
Time to wipe the record clean, scrap the old regime. I lost my self-esteem, singing the wrong theme, singing the wrong, singing the wrong, singing the wrong theme, singing the wrong, singing the wrong, singing the wrong theme.
So a little bit of background. So in 2020, I was writing music for what was supposed to be an album, and I did release a few singles in 2020. However, I decided I was still too inexperienced as a producer. My mixes weren't great, songs weren't great. I was honestly quite embarrassed every time I listened to them. So I decided to pull those songs off of Spotify and other platforms and cancel that album release. Wrong Theme is kind of about reevaluating my style of music, trying to reevaluate who I want to be as an artist and deciding what to do going forward. It's essentially about starting with a clean slate musically. It's time to wipe the record clean, scrap the old regime, because I lost my self-esteem singing the wrong theme. Next we have Not So Big.
Had empathy, yet you treated me as the enemy. Fucked me up mentally, questioning my sanity. Desperate to have control, ironically no self-control. Such a malicious soul, never heard of no one, no. Desperate to have control, ironically no self-control. Such a malicious soul, never heard of no one.
Now, I wrote this song in 2022 at a time where I was really struggling for songwriting inspiration. Life felt a bit stagnant, nothing was really happening, nothing was really sparking the imagination. So I had to cast my mind back to when I was in high school, and this song is actually about the first boyfriend I ever had. He was a dick. He was one of these people who isn't happy unless he's miserable. His favourite hobby is making sure everyone around him is as miserable as he is. I remember we would be having the most casual of conversations, and then suddenly, like a light switch going off, he would suddenly go all doom and gloom, talking about how awful the world is, how awful he is, how he's going to start cutting himself again. It was a lot, and obviously mental health is something that should be taken very seriously. I myself have really struggled with my mental health through the years. I have struggled with feelings of wanting to commit suicide. I have struggled with feelings of wanting to self-harm. This guy very much came off as if he was just trying to make everyone as miserable as possible. Every time the mood was too positive, he would do what he could to bring it down. And anytime you would try and help him, offer him solutions, be there for him to talk to, he would just shut you down, shout at you, as if you were a villain. I only had empathy, yet he treated me like the enemy. Next, we have Devil in Disguise. Now, Devil in Disguise is actually a weird song for me because I didn't actually write this about a personal experience that I had had in real life. At least not yet by the time I had written this song. So, Devil in Disguise is very much about being in a toxic relationship with someone you know is toxic, but you just can't get enough of them. It's about this idea that when you met this person, they were so perfect, you are easily misled. You are the devil in disguise, architect of my demise, how can I resist? And what's honestly very, very creepy about this song is I wrote this at the beginning of 2022 when I myself felt like I was in a very happy relationship, and then 2 years later I found out my ex was cheating on me amongst other things, and now the lyrics to this song fit that situation perfectly. I must be a witch or something because I've accidentally foretold my own future in my songwriting. I think that's a hint that I need to start writing about winning the lottery or something like that, because apparently I have the power to predict the future for myself when I'm writing songs. It's weird. And now this brings us on to the final song in the Closure EP, Villain.
Every bad thing you've ever done became my fault until you spun. You tear me down just for fun, determined to make me the villain. Every bad thing you've ever done became my fault until you spun. You tear me down just for fun, determined to make me the villain. Very well, I'll be the villain.
I'm going to be completely honest, Villain is my favourite song that I have ever written and produced. It is one I'm the most proud of and the one that I keep going back to listen to. Villain at its core is about dealing with narcissistic abuse, which I do have first-hand experience with, but I have written it through the lens of a narcissistic lover, which at the time of writing this song I hadn't experienced firsthand. I have now. And the main idea around this song is one of the most common things that narcissists will do to try and manipulate you is no matter what happened, what the situation is, they will twist the truth, they will gaslight you to try and make you seem like the villain in the story. And this song is about surrendering into that narrative and saying, very well, I will be the villain. Every bad thing you've ever done became my fault until you spun. You tear me down just for fun, determined to make me the villain. So very well, I'll be the villain. And that kind of concludes this video. I hope you found it interesting. If you want me to do a more in-depth video about a particular song, please comment below and I will try and get round to it. And also let me know if you want me to do any production breakdowns for the tracks in this EP. If you like what you heard in this video, you can find the Closure EP on all streaming platforms, but you can also buy it on Bandcamp. If you do that, I will love you forever. Please buy it. I really need the cash. I am in my overdraft. So the links to streaming and Bandcamp will be in my link tree in the description below, along with my TikTok and Instagram pages, so you can follow me on there. I am most active on TikTok, and consider subscribing for more sit-down video essays like this, live performances, maybe the odd production breakdown, maybe the odd mental breakdown. I'm still very new to posting on YouTube, and I'm not ready to commit to posting every single week, but I do strive to post as regularly as I can and be as consistent as I can. And leave a comment below letting me know which song you found the most interesting, which song's your favourite, which song's your least favourite. Is my songwriting any good? Is it bullshit? And like this video, and yeah, have a lovely evening. This is Billy Bryce signing off. That sounded so fucking cringy.